We are back on Taking Care of Business on Kern Radio, News Talk 1180, 1230 KGEO, 1410 KERI, and 1000 KKIM in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Our guest in person, in studio, is Lili Marsh from Honor Flight. So, Lili, is this a program that is good throughout the country? There are a lot of other places that have it?
Yeah, it's a national organization, and we are the 114th hub.
Wow.
And, yeah, they're flying them in all the time, and it's a sight to see, for sure, both at the airport and at the memorial. And when they're at the memorial, people just... they're superstars. People will just come and flock to them and shake their hand, and they just want to thank a World War II veteran, which is much deserved, as with any veteran. But these guys have never really had that, just because when the war was over, they came home and got on the bus and went to work. And so it's kind of stepping back in time for them.
You know, this Guardian program you were talking about, I know Clay and I have talked about going. I would love to go. I don't know if Clay feels he's able to do it.
I just got back from Washington.
That's different, though. That's not the same.
That's true. I did get a private tour of the Capitol.
And you are a veteran yourself.
I am.
I could wheel you around. That would work.
Or vice versa. We could trade off.
That's true. We're both veterans, but not World War II.
You're
close to World War II, though.
You know, it'll change your life.
Yes, I think it would, definitely.
That have gone once typically will sign up to go again, and it just changes their life. I mean, when you see the look in the eyes of those guys and what it means to them to be there, there's nothing like it.
You know, it's interesting when I mentioned it to my dad, who's in Canada. He just couldn't believe it. He was just amazed at that we have that kind of program going on, because they don't have anything like that going, north of the border.
Well, all they have to do is get somebody to start it. That's what we did.
Do
One little email, and all these people came on board to help.
Yeah.
So.
Do you know if there's a chapter in Albuquerque, by chance?
I don't know, but all you have to do is go on the national website, which is honorflight.org, and there's several Honor Flight websites, but the real one where it doesn't charge the vets anything is honorflight.org, and you can click on your state, and it'll tell you where the nearest hub is.
Honorflight.org.
However, if anybody wants to donate, they should donate locally, because otherwise we may not get the money.
So when is your next flight out of Bakersfield?
We have a flight coming up on April 12th, April 26th, and May 31st. So we have 3 flights that are commercial. So they're smaller than the charter, but it's overall almost the same number of vets in those 3 trips.
Are they sold out, or do you have openings?
Sold out, I like that. Well, the first 2 are for sure full, and then I'm not quite sure if we're full on the 3rd. Now, we don't know who these World War II vets are, so if anyone knows a World War II veteran, you need to get in touch with us. We want them on our list. So as soon as even if they're waffling, people will say, my dad, he's not sure. Just get them to fill out the application. That gets them in line. They can always say no when their number comes up, but at least get in line, and that goes for Korean vets too, because if we don't have a plane that's full on World War II, and there's Korean War applications in that group, then we can put them on our plane. We do have to send World War II first, but if the time is coming that those guys aren't getting any younger either.
Now, do you have enough Guardians?
We do have enough Guardians for this spring. As a matter of fact, we have almost too many, I think. And it's just, again, Bakersfield. Wow. Who would think that people just come out and volunteer to pay money to do this? And it's amazing.
I think Bakersfield's known as a community that steps up whenever there's a need.
They really do. And I mean, the majority of the money that we have raised to do this has been little by little. I'll sponsor this vet. Here's $100. Here's $25. We had another school who just thought of that, who did a coin drive and a bake sale, and they raised $1,600. So they're going to sponsor a vet. But it's little by little. We have had some very generous donations, but and the largest we've ever received is 10,000. So,
Wow.
we had 2 people give us 10,000. So, and so we're not surviving by a large, gigantic corporate donation, but we'd love to.
Yeah, but this is kind of a grassroots thing, anyways.
It really is.
Yeah. Our in-studio guest is Lili Marsh from Honor Flight.
You know, Lili, I've attended a couple of your meetings that you've had, and they're usually held at the Petroleum Club. And you have a tremendous group that comes out to support you.
We do, and it's full-time work. I mean, you wouldn't probably think so, but we have someone in charge of veterans and somebody in charge of guardians, and it's probably near flight time, 2 or 3 months out of flight time, a 4-hour a day commitment. It's asking a lot of people. So if the more help we get, hopefully the less time those folks will have to devote. So if anyone's interested in helping, they can also call that same number, 544-VETS.
You know, another great event that goes right along with that is the day they take off for Washington. We always have a big crowd out there at the airport. The fire station comes, the police come, sheriff come. And we had tons of people with reporters. And then when they come back, it's just the opposite. And you see these big smiles coming off the plane.
Yes, we've been there.
And if anyone can do anything, I would encourage you to come to when we take off and when we land. Maybe you can't donate, but those guys, when they get back and start telling the story, they will talk about how many people were at the airport to see them. In D.C., they will announce the arrival over the loudspeakers, and when our 21 guys got off the plane last year on the first flight, this is a plane that held over 200 people. 21 Kern County World War II veterans, over 700 people were at the airport, clearing, clapping and cheering. And we have a little video of it, and the tears, and the guys are they couldn't believe it. In fact, I know it was Stan Schwartz that said, bless his heart, he said, when we were coming down the tunnel, they heard all this clapping and cheering and screaming and yelling, and they thought that there was movie stars on the plane.
Oh.
And they realized that it was for them. So there's nothing, you can't replace that.
No.
And your first flight, also, Jeremy Statt did across the country bike ride, and I understand he was there to greet you as well.
Yeah, Jeremy and Wesley both spent the entire day with us. We fly in on Friday. Our tour day is Saturday, and it's long and grueling and fast and furious. And those guys spent the whole day with us, and you should talk to them sometime about their experience. I know for certain Wesley, he was with some airborne guys, and, he definitely got choked up, and just hearing their experiences, and they're all wonderful, and they both help us with our interviews as well.
Sure.
When we do the veteran interviews, both of those guys are just tremendous supporters.
So the website again is honorflight.org.
That's the national website.
Right. And your phone number is 544-VETS. That's 661-544-VETS.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic.
And for those in Marty's office, it's VETS.
Ooh, not bad, Clay. Not bad. Lili, anything we can do to help promote you, please let us know. Okay, we love having you on, and this is one of those things that Clay and I being ex-vets, it's very heartwarming for us. So
just come out to the airport at 6 a.m.
Well, we will definitely be there. I want to make one quick announcement about a show we have next week. Next week, I'm very excited about one of our guests. We have nationally known figure Steve Forbes coming on. So
another conservative.
Another conservative. What are you going to do? Lili, again, thank you for what you do. And please, if you guys, April 12th, 26th, and May 31st. We'll be back in 167 hours on Taking Care of Business on Kern Radio News Talk 1180.